Hey, what's going on, guys? Back again here with my Robinhood portfolio. Just want to thank everyone for all the support lately. I've had a lot of new subscribers come on to the channel and thumbs up all my videos and comment on them. So if you're new here, please let me know in the comments. I love interacting with all you guys. Also, don't forget, if you guys ever want to reach me, I'm always available to talk on Instagram as well. So today we're just gonna go over some new positions of stocks that I added into this week. And there's going to be lots of volatility here because this is the big earnings season, big earnings week here. So expect a lot of volatility as those large, big market cap stocks report their third quarter earnings. And I've also reached a new milestone here. As you guys can see, I've passed the $14,000 threshold. And as you guys know, I always keep track of each time I hit a new $1,000 milestone. So let's take a look at that right now. Okay, so as you guys can see, I started off in the first time I reached $1,000 was in March of 2018. And now fast forward all the way to October of 2019, I'm now at 14,000 and I just transferred in some money. So I should be reaching that $15,000 mark basically later this week. So as you guys may notice, there's times when I took kind of a break from putting in money into the account. That was kind of more so I can focus on my student loans. You get a guaranteed rate of return if you pay off your loans first, of course, because the stock market, you never know what to expect with the stock market. And then now that I'm finished paying those off, you probably noticed that I'm starting to see results even quicker now. That's because I'm adding more money now that that money isn't going towards student loan debt. So we'll be reaching 15,000 here shortly. So this is great motivation for me. It keeps me on my toes on when I need to be depositing, and I can just kind of look back on this for reference. Because sometimes when you're just putting in money, you don't really see the results right away. It's kind of when you look back at it that you really realize, wow, I really have been making a difference. And I'm really excited to reach $15,000 here. I think once I reach maybe 20,000, I'm going to start showing you guys just the 5K increments instead of all these $1,000 milestones. Okay, and then as you guys know, it's big earnings week this week. So we have today on Monday, these two companies will announce. It's going to be interesting to see TD Ameritrade's earnings report because now that all these other companies are offering zero-based commission, it's really going to be tough for some of these other guys to compete, Robinhood included. So always going to be interesting for that. Then we have Procter & Gamble, McDonald's on Tuesday, Chipotle as well. Then on Wednesday, really want to pay attention to Boeing, Waste Management, Microsoft. Those are all stocks I own. We see Tesla also on Wednesday. So, I'm sure Ryan and Jeremy are definitely going to be tuned into that one. And then Thursday, of course, we have Amazon, and then we have Bush Beer on Friday. So big earnings week coming up. Expect a lot of volatility. All right, now let's get into the new positions that I added into here, guys. And of course, be sure to, if you're new here, to hit that subscribe button and to like this video and let me know what you guys think in the comments. So the first stock we're going to talk about today is Boeing. Now, I didn't actually add another share into this position, but I wanted to talk about it because it's just been on the news so much. So basically, the Boeing 737 MAX has just had a magnitude of problems, and a couple of them, their jets actually crashed earlier this year, causing many fatalities. So that's obviously a very unfortunate event. And then Boeing has been working hard to fix this, as the jets have been out of service since March, and they have just been saying that basically they're going to come back in service soon, but that return dates just keeps getting pushed back, and now they're saying that it'll finally be back by early 2020. And then on Friday, the stock plummeted nearly 7%, as you can see here on this little graph. And that's because of a report that the company may have misled the Federal Aviation authorities about the safety of the 737 MAX. What happened was that there was these messages between two pilots from years ago when this was still in the testing phase that suggested that they warned Boeing that the safety system was not up to par and that they may have lied to the FAA about how safe the plane really was. That could have some serious implications here, maybe even legal implications. And Boeing, with their upcoming earnings report, they were already expected to report lower earnings on its earnings call, and I expect the stock to actually fall even more here. This is not going to be good press for them, and we'll see how they recover from this. And despite all the hysteria, though, about Boeing and basically it's been a very rough 2019 for them, and understandably so. So as you can see, I'm down on this position, but there's been times when I've been up huge on this position and down huge on this position as well. So negative 3.86%, that's not too bad. But what I wanted to show is that I've still been, despite all the hysteria, I've still been getting these nice dividends every quarter. And that's probably going to continue because one of the reasons why I really like Boeing is that they are in an industry where the barriers to entry are really big. It's going to cost a lot of money for somebody to just go out there and start their own aerospace engineering company. Plus, Boeing has so many patents and agreements with different countries. It's they definitely have an advantage there, and that's why I'm going to continue holding on to them despite all this hysteria here. So the next stock we're going to talk about is Visa. So this one I actually did buy a share of, so it went from 3 to 4, so not a big change there. But as you guys can probably tell, a lot of the stocks on the stock market right now are just really overpriced. That's kind of what happens when we don't have a recession for 10 plus years now. And like I said, I don't really care if I'm not necessarily getting these stocks at the best price. At the end of the day, with my dollar cost averaging method, I'm going to be buying shares at different prices. So I'm not really too worried about the day-to-day fluctuations. And, I don't want to be analyzing stocks so much, just waiting for the best time to buy, that it eventually causes me to just be waiting on the sidelines, losing money to inflation and not getting in on these great returns that these stocks have been seeing here. So when I first started buying my shares of Visa, it was around the 130 mark. And even back then, I remember thinking that it was very overpriced. And then, it's been up almost 25% in the last year. So I'm just going to go for it. I don't really care too much about how overvalued stocks might be, because I'm going to be holding Visa for 10 plus years. I'm not going to be too worried about how much I bought it for 10 years from now, or 10 years ago. And I anticipate a lot of growth here in the future for Visa, because $17 trillion worth of transactions, that's trillion, not billion, worth of transactions are still done with cash or check around the world. So there's plenty of room for growth. And not to mention that there's countries that don't even use cards at all in the year 2019. And remember, Visa doesn't issue cards or carry any sort of credit risk. That's what the banks do. It's merely collecting fees for processing transactions. It's kind of like the middleman in between transactions there, and it just gets a very small sliver of the transaction. But when you multiply that by the millions of transactions that Visa does every day, that definitely can quickly add up to a lot. In fact, total transactions just last quarter came in at $35.4 billion. That's up 12% since last year. Then another stock that I bought was Applied Materials. So I bought all of these stocks. I just bought one more share. Again, just kind of practicing this dollar cost averaging. Applied Materials, if you guys don't know, they're basically providing the raw equipment, the services, the software to the semiconductor companies. And, that's going to be really important going forward here. I'm really excited about this upcoming 2020s decades, because that's when I really think that's when AI is really going to take off. And it probably, the media keeps saying that it's going to eliminate all these jobs, but I don't think it's necessarily going to eliminate a lot of jobs. I mean, it might. I can't predict the future, but I think it's going to be more there to assist us in our current jobs and make them a lot easier. But yeah, of course, it's always possible that it'll just completely eliminate your job. But let's hope that doesn't happen. And I was watching a video with the Applied Materials CEO, and he was basically saying that inside one of those Alexa Amazon speakers, there's actually over 20 different types of materials in that really small speaker. And Applied Materials helps give Amazon the materials to build that. So that's why I really think that Applied Materials has a positive future, and it's definitely going to be a big need heading into the 2020s decade. Then I also bought another share of Microsoft here. And speaking of AI, Microsoft is huge in that industry too. Let me just say, this is an anecdotal story, of course, but at my work, I cannot tell you how many Microsoft products we use, from the desktop computer to the keyboard to the mouse to the internet, applications, email, and then when we have issues with any of this, we can contact Microsoft support. Microsoft is really just that ecosystem that helps us get our work done. I can't imagine doing anything without Microsoft. And I saw that I hadn't bought any shares in 2019, and man, that is just a sin. I cannot believe that. I'm gonna make it a mission in 2020 to continuously be buying Microsoft. I don't care what the price is, because I know I'm very confident in Microsoft going forward. They made $40 billion in net income this past year, and they have over $1 trillion market cap, $1.05 trillion market cap, guys. And then the last company that I recently bought into was Pepsi. Now, I've done super well with this stock. I always seem to be buying in at the right times. And Pepsi, why not try to continue my luck here? So Pepsi, of course, is a food and drink company. It has many different brands other than just the Pepsi drink that you're probably familiar with. It has Gatorade, Mountain Dew, Aquafina, Doritos, Frito-Lay, and so many others. The best part is that even during a recession, you will still be buying these products, because as humans, we kind of need food and drinks to survive. Like, unless you're a robot like Mark Zuckerberg, Pepsi in 4 years is going to be a dividend king. That means that it's not only paid dividends for 50 straight years, but it's also raised dividends each of those years as well. So I'm definitely going to be adding more shares of Pepsi as we go. And 2020, hopefully I have way more than just 4 shares of Pepsi. And then I also wanted to just talk briefly about UNH here, because this stock absolutely took off this past week. As you guys can tell, it has a 10% uptrend this past week, and people had just been beating down on this stock. And I can tell you guys that it had really nothing to do with the fundamental basics of UnitedHealth, which is an insurance provider here. And basically why people are so pessimistic about it is that, with the upcoming 2020 election, a lot of people think we're moving toward a single-payer healthcare system. I'm not sure how reasonable that might be, but I can tell you guys that on paper, UNH, it looks like a great company. It absolutely killed its earnings report, as you guys can see there. And wow, this is just a stock that really just has been beaten down, and you definitely could have bought it at a discount. I still think it might be a little underpriced here. And this is why I don't really buy into, all the hysteria, all the day-to-day market fluctuations, because, that's kind of normal. And, this whole time I've just been sitting back, collecting my dividends. And UNH has been great at increasing its dividends substantially. I think it's had 20% increases like each of the last 5 years, maybe even more. So that's going to do it, guys, with all the stocks I'll go over today. Be sure to keep on the lookout. I already have some videos I'm working on. And be sure to support the channel by subscribing and smashing that like button. And as always, guys, if you guys have any requests on any sort of video topic that you want me to talk about, just let me know in the comments or message me on Instagram. Both of those work. I just want to thank everyone again for all the support, and happy trading.